on you, you censorious thug.
Why did Google and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram censor us for asking real questions? Why were the vaccine companies given legal immunity for any harm coming from their products? And then why were we forced to take those experimental medical products on pain of losing our jobs or access to the public square? So yeah, look at that question again. Big events like wars, recessions, and the outcomes of elections are controlled by small groups of people working in secret against us, and 44% of people agree. I'm just amazed that 56% of people think that the last 2 years was some sort of normal democratic outcome. I mean, I'm not sure if I'd put wars in there. Canada, I don't think, has been in a war in a while. I think Afghanistan would be the last one. And that one was indeed subject to a great amount of political debate in this country. I don't think we're actually involved in the Ukraine war in any real way other than rhetorically, but still, how did pushing Russia out of Ukraine become the world's most important subject, so much so that we are actually risking an all-out war with a nuclear armed rival? I mean, forget about Canada. Trudeau's just a poser who sees Ukraine as another fun trip away from Canada and our problems here and a great photo op. But even for Americans, they approved $40 billion in military aid to Ukraine in like one night's debate. There's no declaration of war. I'm not sure how it all happened so quickly, are you? But I do know it does meet the description that these pollsters use. And in terms of a recession, look, I don't know about that, but I know that a small group of people, Trudeau, his out-of-control spending, and the Bank of Canada that was happy to just print the money for him to spend, they really are the forces behind our inflation and our cost of living and the inevitable reaction to that, rising interest rates that will make everyone with a mortgage have to pay more each month. And again, where was the debate about all this in Parliament? What debate has there even been in the media? It's unanimous in all favor of all these things. I mean, journalists are economically illiterate to begin with, so yeah. But if the shoe fits, a small cabal of politicians, Trudeau's cabinet, and the elite and secretive board of the Bank of Canada did in fact collude behind closed doors to give us the conditions for a recession, which is surely looming. So yeah. Take a look at this. This is a chart from the pollster Abacus Data. Much of our lives are controlled by plots hatched in secret places, they ask. Yeah. Like the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. The world's elite was there, and the ordinary people were kept out of their secret meetings. We tried to get in, they wouldn't let us in. It's not a conspiracy theory to point out that Chrystia Freeland, our deputy prime minister, our finance minister, is literally on the board of governors of that secretive society. And that the boss of that secretive society, Klaus Schwab, brags about that fact.
But what we are very proud of now, the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. I know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are for our actually young global leaders of the World Economic Forum.
So if that were not true, wouldn't Chrystia Freeland correct him? Wouldn't she resign from his board of governors? How does a cabinet minister who has to be loyal to Canada manage to be on a board loyal to another entity that seeks to create world economic policy? So who is she serving? Canada's board of directors, which is really what a cabinet is, or Klaus Schwab's board of directors? You can't serve two masters. This is a real photograph published by the Prime Minister's own photo account. That's him at the World Economic Forum, and that's George Soros, and that's Chrystia Freeland, who was Soros's official biographer before she was elected. None of this is contested. These are facts. So how could you possibly answer the pollster's question with anything other than yes? Much of our lives are controlled by plots hatched in secret places. Yeah, maybe I'd add Wuhan, China to one of those places. But again, it's a secret. How do I know? Even the pro-liberal Toronto Star wants to know what that's all about, including the Chinese spies who were working in Canada's top secret virus facility, Trudeau's blocking those facts from being released. Why? Why the secrecy? Here are some specific questions from Abacus Data. They're interesting. World Economic Forum group of elites with secret strategy to impose on the world. 20% of people say yeah, 37% unsure, and 42% don't agree. Well, it's incredible to me that 20% of people even know about the World Economic Forum. There is no mainstream media coverage of it other than to deny that it's a problem. We sent 6 reporters to the World Economic Forum this year, but they were almost no other media other than our friend Andrew Lawton from True North. I should be more precise. There were other media there, yes, huge media companies, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, but they were there, they were in on it, as in they were part of the secret meetings. They actually paid to be there. They were paid sponsors. They weren't reporting on it, they were inside scheming. Remember this?
Rebecca, how are you doing from the New York Times? Can I ask you a quick question as Avi from Rebel News? How is the public meant to believe that the New York Times is here to actually ask the tough questions when you're here as an invited guest? How are people meant to rely on the mainstream media?
If you wouldn't mind, we're just having just if you could give us, thank you.
You don't want to explain to people why we should trust the mainstream media? No? Of course, no comment.
Here's another question from the pollster. Secret societies control the world. 22% agree, 31% unsure, and 47% saying no. Well, I don't know. The World Economic Forum is secretive. The United Nations is secretive. George Soros is secretive. But he does tell us some things. Here's his official website, the Open Society Foundations. If you scroll slowly down it, you can see all of the places around the world where they're propping up left-wing activists, undermining local sovereignty, and basically trying to buy democracy. He even has funded violent revolutions in other parts of the world, the so-called color revolutions in Eastern Europe. You can see they brag about having spent $18 billion. And all the way down, you can see that Soros has pledged $32 billion of his own fortune. So yeah, I'm not sure it's a secret society, but it's secretive, and it's definitely undemocratic, and it absolutely has a huge impact on the world, including in Canada. And you can't vote them out, can you? That was an excerpt from my daily TV-style show called The Ezra Levant Show. Each weekday, I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview a fascinating guest. I read some fan mail or hate mail, depends on which I like more, and we end with a video of the day. You can get it all at rebelnewsplus.com.